Hi, this is Diane Estes. Welcome to Community Chat. I'm with the Lebanon School District, and I'm the School and Community Relations Director. And I'm glad to have you back in the studio with us today because we have a couple of guests talking a little bit more about the extended learning opportunities that are going on over at Lebanon High School. And you may have met Joy Gobin before when she was in the studio. And if you haven't, you should definitely check out some of our videotapes that we have that are available on the CAT website. But without further ado, let me introduce our guests today. Today I have Miss Joy Gobin. And Joy, what is your title over at Lebanon High School?
I'm the Extended Learning Opportunities Coordinator.
Fantastic. And our young man with us today?
I'm Jake Roberts, and I'm a junior at Lebanon High School.
Excellent. And so we're going to talk a little bit about what an extended learning opportunity is at Lebanon High School and what that looks like, or the many different faces of what that looks like, as well as hear a little bit about what Jake is doing for his opportunity over there right now. So Joy, can you just give us a little history on the ELOs, and I'm always fascinated to hear the types of ELOs that are happening at Lebanon High, as well as the number of students that are taking part in this exciting opportunity.
Yes, hi Diane.
Hi.
We have currently about 147 students participating in a wide variety of extended learning opportunities. Essentially, an ELO allows a student to earn credit in either a traditional or a non-traditional way. Mm-hmm. It is usually based around something that the student is passionate about. They can be within the school, they can be within the community, they can be online through Dartmouth. There's a whole array of opportunities that students can take to extend their own learning.
So how does a student come to you with an idea, or how does one get started in that?
There's a variety of ways. Jake, for example, was interested himself. Mm-hmm. He came to me on the second day of school mm-hmm. and said, there's a piano class. I already know how to play the piano. I want to advance my learning. My primary instrument is guitar, but there's not a more advanced class. Can I do an independent study with our current Dan Signor teacher, as well as Jake works with a private teacher, and he'll talk a little bit more about that.
Great.
So it can be anything from something that a student has had an experience around and wants to learn more and go deeper, from learning languages, to dance, to theater, mm-hmm. to traditional academics, okay. and internships within the community.
So what components are involved so that a student can move forward and actually get school credit for this?
So there are 4 components to all ELOs. The first component is a research component. What that entails is a student picks a topic and they're going to learn more in depth about something.
Okay.
And for example, learning more in depth about the piano. It might be a research paper, but traditionally for ELOs, it's more learning and digging deep. The next component of all ELOs are reflection. Mm-hmm. As learners, we all need to reflect about what our takeaways are.
Sure.
So students are required to do a weekly reflection, and in the end, they do a summative reflection. The third pieces would be a product or some type of demonstration,
okay.
where a student can demonstrate the competencies that they've mastered that are tied to standards. All of their competencies have to be tied to standards.
Great.
And they're very high quality. And then the fourth piece would be a final where they do a presentation mm-hmm. to a panel.
I see.
Where there's questions that are asked and they really talk about what they're taking away and why they decided to do this ELO.
Fantastic. Well, Jake, we've got to hear from you because I want to hear a little bit more about your ELO and what Ms. Gobin mentioned, the fact that there wasn't necessarily a particular class that fit what you wanted to learn more of. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your ELO and kind of what your take is on how you put this all together.
Right, okay. Well, let me just start, at the drawing board. When I was really little, I love music, and I took a drawing towards the guitar after a friend brought over a guitar one day, and I just started playing around with it, and I was like, wow, this is really neat. But I didn't really know of any opportunities to, get lessons or play guitar in the area. So I just, went to the internet, started Googling some little songs I'd heard on the radio or something. And
That's great.
started to learn and play those. And after that, I moved to the piano a little bit more, and had a keyboard, a little cheap keyboard from Walmart at my house. And so I was kind of going back and forth. And this was back in 5th, 6th grade.
Okay.
And my mom decided to get me piano lessons. So I took piano lessons for about a year and a half, but I was an independent little boy, thought I could do it all on my own.
Sure.
And
Don't they all?
yeah, right. So I wanted to figure out how to do this by myself, and I didn't want to take any time trying to figure out
And
the actually essentials,
the fundamentals, right?
basics of what you need to know in order to play the piano well, to play
Sure.
efficiently, and to play it without hurting yourself. Actually, the technique. So you fast forward a couple years, came to Lebanon High School, and freshman year I took a beginner guitar class, even though I was a little bit more advanced in guitar from what I had known, and that was just an awesome opportunity to be able to, you're going through these rigorous, hard math class, then English class, you're writing this essay, and then you just move to guitar class,
Yeah.
and you're just playing guitar with your friends and stuff like that, and that was a really cool opportunity. About the same time, the worship leader at my church asked me if I would like to start playing up front, and that was a great opportunity in figuring out, really how to perform in front of a whole bunch of people without being nervous. And I was really nervous the first time my fingers were
Sure, I
shaking as was
bet.
playing the piano, or I dropped the pick a couple times while I was playing the guitar. But all in all, after a couple weeks, I got kind of more into this stage sense of mind, like a mindset while I was on stage, and I could just push away that whole crowd out there and just be able to focus on what I was doing and be able to perform and play well. So that was freshman year, and sophomore year, and then this year, after playing the piano quite a bit over the summer, I was flipping through the coursework for our school, trying to pick out the studies, course of studies, trying to figure out what classes do I want to take this year, and I had picked out all my main, the math, the English, the science, all the essentials. So I was looking at electives, and I saw that, wow, there's this new course, this beginning piano course that I hadn't seen before in there, and but then I thought, I was reading the thing, and it was no piano experience.
Right.
And so I was thinking, I was like, well, I've had some experience, so what's this going to look like? So I emailed Mr. Signor and asked him, and he emailed me back, and he's like, well, yeah, this is a beginning course, and I've seen some of your musical ability. It might be a little more advanced, but talk to Miss Gobin, our new ELO coordinator, and see if you can figure out something with her. So like she said, I think it was on the second day of school,
Yes.
I came to her, and I was like, hey, I got this really cool idea. I really like playing instruments. I really like playing the piano, but the piano class at our school is a little bit below my level, and so we talked about this a little bit more and developed this ELO. And the other cool thing that happened at the same time is Miss Taryn, the accompanist for the choral group, who happens to be she's a music artist and a teacher in the Upper Valley as well, was there on 2 days a week, and so I found that out as I started coming there, and she was great. She just took me in and started correcting all the little mistakes that I had been making, because from my previous background with playing the piano and the guitar, besides that 1.5 years of lessons that I didn't like to listen, was just YouTube videos of me just trying to figure out how to make it sound the best I could without trying that hard.
Sure.
So she just really hey, let's take a step back and let's work on your technique. Let's work on your left and right hand independency. Let's work on not putting your hands too low, so you're not harming yourself, stuff like that. And so yeah, that was really really cool experience to be able to have that. And so I continued to talk to Miss Gobin, and I didn't know many about the components of what was required really to take an ELO. So I figured those out, and I'd probably say the research aspect of what I'm doing
Yes.
is a lot of just looking at music that's out there, which is really cool. It's not even like that hard. You just developing that sense for knowing and recognizing and respecting all genres of music,
Right.
and being able to play them all in their respective styles and stuff like that.
So will you, instead of doing your presentation or your compilation of all of this coming together, will it be a written package, or will it be written and performance, or how are you wrapping it all together?
Okay, so there's two aspects to that. I'll actually be both. I've been keeping a little journal. I hate writing journals, but this has actually been not that bad.
Oh,
So
good.
just a couple times a week, just kind of write down. And it's good to keep track too of where I have been and where I'm going. Just kind of
Sure.
write down, what I've done, like how my performance went. Was I too awkward up front? How did I cover up a little mistake I made? Stuff like that. Keeping a list of what I played. And then the other component is the performance aspect.
Okay.
Which I did the first performance. It was, I think, the day before Halloween. The librarian came up to me a few days before that. And she's like, "Hey, it's like music day.
Oh, great.
It's like sci-fi day in the library too. Do you have any like sci-fi movie themes maybe that you could play?" And I was like, "Oh, actually, like that's what I've done a little bit." And so from that, I was able to, cram some stuff in, spend a couple late nights practicing, and do my first performance there. And there weren't a ton of people there, but Mr. Signor, the word spread, and as the period is ending, and you could hear the piano, in the library, more and more people
nice.
came in, which is really cool just to see people actually, responding to what you're playing. And so I thought that was a really cool experience. So, in doing that, I a couple more months is Christmas, so I figured, well, Christmas music on the piano, so I talked to Miss Burke again, the librarian, and was like, "What do you think about maybe having a Christmas concert?"
Nice.
And she loved the idea, and I talked to Miss Gobin, and she loved the idea, especially in the aspect of putting it towards my ELO credit and having that performance. And we usually videotape them too, so having that
Nice.
Recorded and stuff like that. And then I talked to Mr. Signor, and he loved the idea as well.
Great.
And he likes to see me being able to step forward and being able to sort of develop that mindset of on stage, mind awareness, focusing on what you're doing, and making the crowd respond to you, and, knowing when to pause the right time, so
Yes.
for their applause, knowing,
Musicianship.
Yes,
exactly,
yes.
yeah.
It's very interesting that you're saying that, because, I think as probably just a person who enjoys music, I'm not sitting around thinking about all those aspects that are actually going through the artistry and the musicianship of it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. And so I know that you will be doing another concert in the library, and that will be on the 22nd.
Yes.
For all the students, and I'm sure that you'll have even more flowing in, because you're absolutely correct. I think that nothing like that music playing in the background. If you visit like over at DHMC and they have someone playing
Right.
music there, it just changes the atmosphere.
Yes.
Yeah, really, music speaks to so many people on so many different levels, I think.
Some of the components that Jake and I have talked about as well, he's actually transitioning from student to teacher. He's agreed to be a mentor with a 4th grade student from Hanover Street School in teaching him the basics of the piano. I'm sorry, the guitar.
Of the guitar.
Yeah.
Right, of the
Right.
guitar, which actually starts tomorrow.
Oh, fantastic.
And when the teacher from Hanover Street said, "I'm looking for somebody," both Mr. Signor and I said, "Oh, we have the perfect person."
Great.
Because young students really respond to adolescence, and a boy to an older boy, young man, is just what kids need.
That's fabulous. How will that work out for you, Jay? I mean, you'll do it through a free period, and will the student come to you, you go to him, and
Yeah, we're still trying to figure
Working
out
out
all
the
logistics
details,
of
yeah.
that, but
He'll be coming to us.
Yeah,
Okay.
he'll most likely be coming to us
Great.
most days and working. Maybe just, I mean, the first time I'll just get to meet the kid,
Sure.
and talk to him,
Yeah.
Sort of be like a big brother mentor.
Yeah,
And I know
that's
that
very nice.
When I was young, it would have been awesome to have
So-
someone older than me
Yeah.
to play. So I kind of want to be like that for
Oh, that's
for
really
students
great.
like him,
Great. Well-
and develop their musical abilities as I've developed mine.
how do you see this ELO, has it changed how you think about some of the other classes you'll be taking, or, how do you see it fitting in? Does it fit into the future, or just as it kind of satisfied something you love to do?
I'd say it's both aspects that you talk about. Yes, it satisfied everything I like to do. It's so relaxing to be able to take a break from book work and homework and math problems and essays, and just sit down and be able to play and kind of relax. It releases stress if you're having a stressful day or something. Have a lot of tests that day. You can just
Sure.
sit down and do that. And then the other aspect that you talk about, it does make the way that you view all your other classes a little bit different. Just that you can make them enjoyable, and you can enjoy all the stuff all what you're learning, and it can be fun, and that you can use it in the future. As far as the future goes, yes, I'll continue to pursue music.
Great.
As I'm starting to look at college, I'm definitely looking at one where I can develop, maybe not a major in music, but some sort of minor, definitely take some classes towards increasing my piano, guitar, and singing abilities.
Fantastic. And I would imagine that with any ELO, and Ms. Gobin, you could probably speak to this, and Jake, you're welcome to as well,
Yeah.
but the time management of it, because I think that it's probably certainly easier for a student to just go in at 9:10, stay for their class, do the work, and you're really put upon so a real growth experience for the time management end of things. Is that accurate to say?
Yeah, I would say that is accurate. You gotta use your time wisely to what you are pursuing. Obviously, like you're saying, if you have a class, you stay. When the bell rings, you sit down, and you're there until the bell rings again. Where here, you can use it as a free period if you want. It's based on what I do. It's not based on how much time I put into it.
Right. Right.
It's based on the steps that
Right.
you take.
The criteria that you have to meet.
Criteria
Yes.
that I'm trying to reach in order to get a credit. So that's probably what keeps me inspired, as well as the fact that I just like doing it. Yeah.
Well, and I think that it comes back to, you're absolutely correct. You've lit a light under students have lit a light under themselves.
Exactly, it's self-directed, and so I would say most all of the students who have ever participated in an ELO do find that time management is one thing that they definitely feel more confident about
That's great.
afterwards. Because I look at somebody like Jake, who is probably going to do this no matter what, but to give him the opportunity to have some structure around it so that he betters himself as a musician, which is what his goal is. And the other aspect about an ELO is he can go deeper. If he decides he wants to go to the next level, he can continue on.
Okay.
And then what we do is we look at some other goals.
Oh, so-
because as any learner, it's all about depth and breadth. So how far in do you want to learn? So there's always that next level that students can go to.
So when is your ELO finishing up?
For this semester, we talked about at the beginning of the year, we said, hey, let's just go for one semester
Okay.
and then see if it goes from there. But I already know that I'm going to
Yeah,
continue
to- right
with
to
it
the-
through the end of the year. Yeah.
Great. Now, are you able to do another ELO if you chose to next year as a senior?
Yes, yeah, by all means, yeah, if I chose to, which I might, I'm already considering.
Yes. So how many students that you have, would you say, that come in as a junior, And what grade level? Will you remind me of
9
that?
through 12.
9 through 12.
Predominantly sophomores through seniors.
Okay.
And of the group, about 75 to 80% are juniors and seniors.
Okay.
Basically because students at that point are really finding what it is that makes their heart sing.
Sure,
And
right,
that's really
yeah.
what we're looking for.
Right.
It can be learning a new language, it could be learning about science, it
Right.
could be, it's really up to them. And most students, we have unique students that know early on. We have junior high students, middle school students that are doing ELOs.
Oh.
But as they grow, they start to learn more about themselves. And that's one of the most important things about an ELO is you learn about who you are. And that's why the reflection piece is so valuable. And again, I tell students, I'm going to look at it, but I'm not judging it.
Right.
It's about,
Right.
it's for yourself.
I could even hear you speaking about, the journaling end of things, that I think that you've learned a little bit about yourself as you've moved through that.
Yeah,
So,
I'd say so.
yeah, and how many are, let's say, so Jake is a junior, so if you're a sophomore or you're a junior, are there many students who not repeat, but do another ELO?
A majority of the kids, once they do one and they find that this is something that they're doing anyway, but now it's just tied to a standard and competencies and then how they demonstrate it, they do. And sometimes they learn new things. I mean, I had a student come in last week and he has done 3 different ELOs, from cryptography online to a Dartmouth course to working in the community, and he said, I think I want to learn Mandarin Chinese. I'm a senior, when else am I going to get the chance?
Right.
This was self-directed.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
once kids realize it's a safe environment to try something new,
Yes.
and they know that they're going to get support yet still grow, they keep coming back.
That's really wonderful. I see how it can change lives for the future, and these students, the
kids are amazing.
yeah, that's great. Sounds like you have a really fun job.
I have the best job in the district.
Oh, that's so great.
Don't tell anybody.
Okay,
It's the best. It's all about saying yes.
Oh, that's
You
great.
say yes to students,
You say
to kids' dreams.
Yes, that's great.
How
That's
awesome
really
is that?
wonderful. That's really wonderful. Well, and I really appreciate both of you being here today. So I think what we'd like to do is remind the audience. So we're going to have Jake play a few songs for us. We've asked him, and he said yes. So we're going to ask you if that's okay with you,
Right.
Jake, that
Yeah,
you'll
yeah.
play some music for us. That would be fantastic. But I also want to remind the audience, before we have you do that, I just want to remind the audience that we have a lot of music events coming up actually in the school district that will be rolling in the credits after the end of our talk today. So please be sure to check that out. You are always welcome to come to any of the winter or any of our concerts. They are open to the public. They are free. They are at the Lebanon Opera House, and we love it when the public comes, because it's great for everyone. And the students so enjoy having an audience. So before we break and listen to some music, I want to wish you the best on your presentation that you'll be doing just before holiday break. And why don't we take a few minutes and listen to a little music, if you wouldn't mind.